Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. We are the Mile High Property Brothers. Today, getting right into it, we will be talking everything pro, everything positive about what you need to know when moving to Denver.
All right, you don't want to miss this one, guys. Stay tuned. What's up, guys? I'm Eli Schmidt. This is my partner, Will Grimes. And if it's your first time checking out our channel, welcome. And while you're here, you're gonna wanna hit that subscribe button and don't forget the notification bell because we're dropping a new one of these every Tuesday and every Thursday, telling you everything there is to know about moving to or living in the entire Denver, Colorado area.
100%. And we are licensed brokers here in the state of Colorado, which means just as much as we love making these videos, we would love more to help you with those real estate needs. So that number that's popping up below, we are the guys who answer the phone calls, text messages, and those emails. So if we can help you, we would love to. But with that being said, let's help you today by diving into everything pro, everything positive as far as what you need to know before moving to Denver. And it's not that there's not negatives. We've talked a lot about that. And if you go through the history of our channel, we've given a lot of that as far as like just things and variables to think about. However, today, super one-sided, super positive. Let's really dive into and some of this is updated, right? So just some things to be focused on and looking forward to during your move to Denver.
That's right. All right, starting off number one, and these are in no particular order.
Right.
This may come as a surprise to you, this may not come as a surprise to a lot of you, but the population in Denver is extremely young.
Correct.
In fact, what does that mean? That means that more than 2/3 of the population are under 44 years old, and about 23% of those are millennials.
Correct. And I think if you guys dive into this, it probably also has a lot to do with just the tech companies that are here, aerospace that's here, a lot of your modern careers that have just evolved over time that are attractive to your younger demographic, 40s and below, are just starting to gravitate into those. So if you also look at it, we've had a lot of those companies, Oracle, Google, Facebook, Boeing, a lot of those companies not only move here, but some of them have created like headquarters here. So not only is it just indicative of the new industry, but we've got a lot of it here. So I think that's what draws a lot of traffic here as far as being permanent. And they've also got a lot of great education here. So like you've got STEM schools that are in Colorado. And I know for sure that like places like Facebook started creating headquarters here because instead of paying all that money to have everybody move to the Bay Area, well, if you have a lot of people that derive from here that are just into that come from that sort of education through STEM, why not just go to them and have a home base? So a lot of that is just, man, like I think I'm saying, I'm repeating myself. Imagine that, repeating myself, but a lot of it is very consistent with that industry.
Yeah, and especially when you look at CU having here, CSU, like we do have some really good internationally known colleges that are here.
And Deion Sanders has been named Colorado University's new head football coach.
Hey.
So CU Boulder, right, Colorado, their new football coach is prime time.
Sanders is dancing. He's looking backwards from about the 40-yard line. Oh, is he going to do a number on the crowd here? And if that does...
So honorable mention, that just speaks to it. Like a lot of demand, a lot of things are happening here in college. If you have a guy like Primetime coming here to coach CU Boulder, he's not going somewhere that's not going to be very consistent with his consistent moving up in the world as far as coaching and influence and culture, everything that he wants to have. Obviously, CU is very supportive of who Primetime is, or they wouldn't be having him come here as well. But man, just one more piece as far as like the direction and map that Colorado is now getting put on.
And that's a perfect segue into our second point. And we've talked about this one before, but many of you guys have not seen a Pros of Denver video.
Right.
And that brings us into our professional sports culture, which Eli will not be talking about. I'm gonna pass that off to Will because I know nothing about professional sports.
Eli is very sophisticated, eats pears, reads a lot of books, only during candlelit though, is when he reads his book.
Yeah.
I read a lot of books too. Either way, we do have a great professional sports program here, right? And I would say that like even CSU, CU, you get a lot of collegiate sports that are here as well. A lot of support for those places. It's fun to go to college games. You've got Colorado Avalanche, you've got Denver Nuggets, you've got the Colorado Rockies, which is the baseball team, you've got the Denver Broncos, but more importantly than just the fact that we have professional sports here is Colorado being so active and so competitive by nature, you have a lot of great just following and atmospherics from supporting fans when you go go to the game. So if we're not playing well, they're booing. And if they don't like something, they're saying it. I can't remember what quarterback was playing, but literally the fan base of Colorado literally willed Tim Tebow into the starting position because whoever was in front of him was just not performing. They said, put this dude in, and that stadium was shaking and rocking, and the guy went on to win like 8 games, got a playoff win. Not sure how many fans of Tim Tebow are out there. I literally feel like the will and energy of that stadium is what got those games won, but really cool. But that's what makes these games fun, guys. Whether you're a big fan or you follow them all the time or not, being able to go downtown or to one of the stadiums and enjoy that type of atmosphere and competitiveness and just fun and grabbing ballpark food, it's awesome, right? So it's definitely worthwhile. It also definitely just speaks to the economy and where everything else is going with Colorado, because if you've got big stadiums and large brands and large teams, well, now you've got these stadiums that hold large concerts, Cirque du Soleil, as far as like other stuff that comes, the art shows that come, the huge concerts that come here, everything, which again, it's just more indicative of just supporting the economy. And now you don't longer have to fly places to like LA or Chicago to get a lot of that stuff because it's now coming here. Kevin Hart comes here. It's one of the most sought after places to be as far as entertainment.
It is. Now, as much as we are a young culture, a sports culture, we are also a culture of work hard, play hard, which means come weekend time, there are countless places for you to get away to and have your own little mini vacations within your state before you got to hit the grind again on Monday.
Correct. Indoor, outdoor, and most importantly about what he's talking about is year round. So if it's during the spring and summer and you want to go hiking or go out to Bear Lake or have a great time on a raft or on a boat, whatever it may be, cool. If you want to go to amusement parks, water parks, whatever it may be. But then in the winter, those same mountains and recreation become snowmobiling, snowboarding, skiing, lodging in a cabin, drinking hot cocoa. If you're me, that's me. You're not getting me on a snowboard, killing myself. But just a lot of really cool stuff that you can do. And then obviously these stadiums that I talk about when it comes to sports and recreation and entertainment, a lot of those things come during the winter. They're indoors, right? Which is something that's indicative of in case it's cold outside. But just year round, great entertainment. And I will say this, just to back up a little bit when we talk about like this young culture here. I know there's going to be a demographic as far as like what the numbers say when it comes to age. And the majority of it's 40 below. But you have folks that are in their late 40s, 50s, and 60s out here that run circles around myself and Eli.
True.
And we're in our late 30s.
Yeah,
so when we talk about like the culture here, it's not that you can't be those ages and getting after it. Matter of fact, the majority of a lot of the folks that are here that are in those ages are literally running circles around us. So if you fit that mold and you don't think that this is a place for you, it's a super, super great place for you.
Yes, I think we are, literally young, but then also young at heart, and when you're talking to anyone in their 60s plus here, so many of them are doing these same things. They're also going skiing, they're also going hiking, they're also going mountain biking and stuff. There's just so much to do here in Colorado, regardless of age, regardless of skill set too. That's the other thing I want to emphasize is even if you're coming to Colorado and you haven't done any of that stuff, hey, there's always just beautiful stuff to see here. And if you're willing to drive an hour and a half to 4 hours or so, 4 hours will get you all the way to Aspen, hour and a half will get you to Breckenridge. Both places are absolutely stunning. So whether it's just a nice easy walk around town or you're going to Estes Park just to do some shopping or go see Bear Lake like Will mentioned, there is so much to do, and the state is just overall a extremely beautiful place.
I love how he just flowed right into like the next bullet point without saying anything and just makes himself look so adequate. It's a great job. But hey, let's also mention this. Like for example, whether you're living in Castle Rock, Southeast Aurora, Arvada, wherever you're at, like the mountains are absolutely huge. The landscape out here, even if you're looking out east as far as like farmland, the farmland and the rolling hills out here are phenomenal. The sun sets toward the east. If you're looking at the east as far as like how the clouds change, color and all that good stuff, like amazing. If you're looking out west and you see the sunset going down over the mountains, amazing. And literally like sunrises in my drive to the gym from my home with snow-capped Rocky Mountains is amazing. Coming home during sunset, amazing. So you don't necessarily have to go anywhere to enjoy it. And one of the other things is because Denver is starting to become a bigger city than what it used to be, the cityscape and how you can see it from the suburbs with the sunset and the snow-capped mountains, like definitely calendar worthy, but it's not necessarily like you have to go anywhere for that. And it definitely like just seems to put a lot of people in a great mood or just good energy overall, but just the overall atmospherics of how you have it out here. We've been saying this for a while. I'm going to continue to say it because it's still a pro. People will still hold the door for you here. People still make eye contact and say hi to you out here. Will shake your hand, or if you introduce yourself to someone and say hello at a coffee shop. And I know that sounds, like it sounds minor, but I promise you, like just that kind of behavior bleeds and is a catalyst to a lot of just the overall positivity that you get in Colorado. And it's something that is, as far as me just being a follower, having my family here, wanting my own energy to be good here, super, super not talked about a lot, but really, really appreciated when you've got a surrounding area that's just kind that way.
It is. Colorado definitely just has a vibe about it. And regardless of where people are coming from, whether it's California or Texas or Chicago.
I can hear the comments now. Like, it's the weed, man. Yeah. It's the mushrooms, man.
I don't know what it is.
That's why everybody's so friendly, man.
It is.
It could also be because they're active and they're working hang out and it's beautiful here and it's just consistent. It could also be because of their recreational behavior. I'm not sure. Folks that I know are all parents like me, it probably aren't.
Yes.
But they're positive and they're good folks. But I feel the comments now as far as like why Colorado is so happy. That should be its own video. Why is Colorado so happy, right?
But regardless of where you're coming from, again, our top states are California, Chicago, Texas, Florida. Those are the top ones that we see people come, and a couple on the East Coast. But all of these are very different cultures from each other.
Yep.
However, when they all come to Colorado, they all comment on the same thing. Man, we love how chill everybody is here. Yep. And again, it's kind of funny because people still, they get after the sports, they get after work, they're about their business, like we'll mention with the startups and college and education and all that. However, there's just an overall vibe with people here to where you don't see a ton of road rage, you don't see a ton of any of that stuff. People still open the door. People here are pretty 100%. Kind.
And I think like in a very underlying way, regardless of where you come and how dominant like that place is or that culture is or how they behave is, once people get here, they kind of embrace and take on their own interpretation of like being a Coloradoan as far as like adopting some of these traits and adopting some of these activities. And a lot of people haven't been snowboarding or skiing or whatever it may be that decide to come here, but seeing clients and friends come here and purchase through us, get through their first winter, get through their first fall, and they're out doing like Colorado stuff and they're embracing that lifestyle. Cool. One thing, contrary to popular belief that you will not see that is a super positive, there is no go back to California, go back to Chicago. Regardless of how many one or two comments you'll see on our channel or through social media, there is not this behavior in Colorado of go back where you came from. No. Very not true. I've gone to places and I look like I'm an out-of-towner because I don't ski. But when I went up there and learned how to snowboard, people were so embracing of just new people trying it that they're helping you out, they're getting you as good as you can be, but there's like just this aura of people embracing folks coming here and trying new things versus what one or two people might say online as far as like what it is. But you do not have a culture here or a vibe here of go back where you came from type of crap. Like it's a lot of great stuff here. Don't let people fool you. Don't let the one or two loud negative folks on social media or online really take away from the huge energy that's here as far as people just being positive.
All right, now going forward, this one is going to be maybe controversial with some locals, but cost of living is still affordable, and we'll go into that. So when it comes to cost of living in Colorado, yes, our housing is the most expensive factor. You're looking at roughly 30% higher than the rest of the national average when it comes to buying a home. However,
rest in peace to my mother, right? Like a lot of you know, like we treat you guys like family that subscribe to our channel, that purchase through us when you guys are here with your real estate needs. So we feel like you guys are family. A lot of you knew that my mom passed away and I shared that here. We did a little in-memory thing for her, which is really cool. And some of the messages I got online after my mom had passed and you guys found out was really cool. But digressing, I remember when my mom, she was still like when I got out of the military and I had come home, I was banking where she banked and she had access to my account. And I remember the conversation my mom would have with me about the $3 water, the $2.99 water I was buying. A $3 water to my mom was like, dude, do you know how much money you're spending a month in water? And I feel like my mom's was also a native of Colorado. But I feel like it's very indicative of like folks that have been here for 30 years or 20 years, whatever it may be, that are talking about affordability or the price points in Colorado. Like, yes, they are drastically different than they used to be, but so is income, so is other opportunities in different industries that make significantly more income. Like times have just changed and it's not the same. But when we talk about affordability, we're going apples to apples, current 2022, 2023, you are still 30 to 35% less expensive than Orange County, California, and some other places as well. So I think that's what you're getting at is like per America, what you get bang for buck being in Colorado and the price point. Is
and
really
just the rest of daily living expenses are all very comparable with even like the Midwest. Like right now our gas is $2.99. We're under $3 a gallon right now. It's December 2022. And I know California is not $2.99.
Could be because elections are coming up the next couple of years. So rates are coming down, gas is coming down.
Well, and they've always been significantly lower than a lot of those other, just what, people might consider expensive places. When you look at the cost of healthcare, the cost of vehicle maintenance, milk, bread, the staples, we're pretty much in line with everybody else. So yes, you do have higher costs of living as far as housing goes out here, but significantly on par with the rest of the country with everything else.
Another honorable mention as far as like like just with this, the population that's here, the tech that's here, like you've got Amazon, not necessarily the headquarters here, but you've got little substations here, like
tons of warehouses.
If you're
around.
door dashing or Amazoning or whatever it may be, like you're getting stuff within 24 hours. We have have reached the future here when it comes to having fun, ordering stuff, and getting it right now. I don't know if that's the best habit. I don't know if I'm encouraging a lot of people to do more of that. I don't know. We get a lot of Amazon boxes at our front door. Not necessarily expensive, but it's just a convenience factor. It's almost like
it's quick.
You don't even have to drive 20 minutes to get something because you can get it by the next day, and it lets you stay on task with what you're doing with your family and your careers. But it's nice that you have that literally throughout the Denver metro.
Now, going forward, let's talk about weather before we are done here. Surprisingly, this may come as a big surprise to a lot of you. We have, I
had a joke. It was going to be like, whether or not our weather is for you.
Oh, I like that. Whether or not.
It's dead. I didn't get it in right when I was going to get it in.
Here, I'll do it for you. Whether or not weather's important to you, we have surprisingly mild but long winters. Let's talk about what we mean by mild but long. So mild, believe it or not, we've got average temperatures throughout the winter of anywhere from 45 to 60 degrees is our average temperature.
It's 54 degrees today, and it is December 4th, right? So it's Sunday. You guys will be seeing this coming week. We try to film close to when the videos are going to be released as possible, so it's all relevant. It's not saved content from months ago. We try to stay relevant, so it's Sunday, December 4th, and it's 54, 56 degrees today. Mild wind, but it's super sunny, partly cloudy, and you get that for the majority of winter. Now, our winter does start probably a little bit more toward like February, gets a lot more cold. March
January is pretty cold.
But you're still getting sunny days throughout that month. And we get big snow dumps where you feel like you're in a full winter and you get the full feel of what would living in like a place that gets winter feels like, except for within a couple of days, it's melted. Very rarely do we get a snowstorm so heavy where the roads are covered for more than 4 days. Typically by day 3, they're at least just wet. And that's also consistent with like just our infrastructure and our cities and counties with how they plow and salt the roads and keep everything operational. And they do such a great job here. And we've been to a lot of different states. They do a great job here with that. So it allows you to just still navigate, but the sun's typically back out within 2 to 3 days.
Yeah, and looking at snowfall averages, again, I looked at the winter as a whole for the entire Denver metro area, and we average anywhere from 6 to 10 inches per month. So that could just be maybe 3 days where you're getting 2 inches. That could be 2 days where you're getting 5 inches that month.
Could be one storm that brought in a foot, and that was the only storm the entire month. I think it's long because even though we have a ton of sunshine through the winter, it does go all the way out to like May.
Yeah, it does. It does. From like November to May.
Before you think that's October. A con, right? Because I can already feel you cons out there just waiting for a con. Let me tell you how wet and heavy that snow is in May, and it is perfect for this.
Ow! Son of a nutcracker!
If you like doing that and having fun, like not only is it not terribly cold outside, but these snowballs, they are wet and just melty enough where you can get great shape.
That's right, that's right.
Great size, and you just get a great snap on the top of that snowball. You have a lot of great fun. Kids love building forts, whatever it may be, but because it's typically warm by then, minus those last couple snowstorms that come through, roadways and everything are still great for the commute. It's just gonna be wet roads, but plenty of fun snow.
Now, lastly, this is for all you beer lovers out there. Denver, Colorado is the Mecca for breweries.
We have the new Mecca.
The new Mecca. We have like over 150 breweries here within Denver alone.
Correct.
And these are all independent. Some are really big, some are really small, but are still sold in like local liquor stores and the local brewery and bars and stuff like that. Colorado, Denver is really a huge supporter of small business, small breweries. It is a place where, man, a lot of the small guys can come and thrive just because the locals support it so much.
Small business in Colorado just go hand in hand. People love supporting small business out here. And then consistent with the whole work hard, play hard, a lot of your folks that are creating these breweries downtown or in Rhino, wherever it may be, they take a lot of pride in what they're doing. They're not knockoffs. They really want to be the best. That's that competitive nature. That's that work hard in addition to play hard nature that a lot of folks have here. So like when you're going to these new breweries, like it could very well, even though it's newer, it could very well be one of the best in Colorado. And people just don't know yet. Who knows? But either way, the beer festivals that are out here, beer festivals you have in the mountains, the breweries that are popping up. You've also got places like Mile High Spirits, and that's more hard alcohol, correct?
Yep, distillery,
but phenomenal. We've done some personal real estate events there. We've put a couple hundred agents in there, and we've trained them and had a ton of fun with them there and really taught them what we're doing as far as helping influence consumers find their needs and their wants through YouTube and video and still being a professional with doing deals very well. But we've had a lot of fun there. And what's fun is, just like all these breweries and distilleries are very appreciative when people support their small business, well, they also support us as a small business and let us come in and rent the place out and have a great time training agents. And it also just creates a great atmosphere as far as a lot of these professionals learning some of the new breweries or distilleries, right? So shout out to Mile High Spirits for letting us come through and have some great time. We've got a couple more events coming there early this year. So if you guys are around, some of them might be for some of you guests, right? But either way, a lot of different fun, but probably one of the most best pros about Colorado is the support. I remember when COVID was going down, down. Our good friend also, a new good friend that owns Mile High Spirits, he talked about the support that the locals had for Mile High Spirits. So instead of going to liquor stores and different stuff, they were literally going out of their way to go do the whole can't come in, grab your bag, whatever it may be, to support that small business, to make sure that those guys were still staying on top and didn't go under. So one of the strongest pros out here is just our culture, our support for small business and people, and just taking pride in helping each other out, which, man, I can't think of a better way to end this video as far as like then a strength in that. Mine is just that number popping back up below, and us reminding you that we are licensed brokers here in the state of Colorado. And yes, just as much as we love making these videos, we would love more to help you with those real estate needs. So that number that is still up below are the guys who answer the phone calls, text messages, and those emails. So if we can help you, we would love to. But with that being said, you guys enjoy the first part of your week. We'll see you here in a couple of days.
All right, see you guys. Our 44 younger, 23%
You don't gotta tell me.
are millennials.
You gotta tell them.
I know. But the population in Denver is extremely young.
Correct. Elaborate.